straight into the roof of the net. Nice one, straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams here today.
Hello and welcome. You're watching First Sports with me, Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. But on the show today, Pakistan, India and the International Cricket Council stuck in a three-way that is bound to end up only being a messy affair. Pakistan is miffed. They have questioned the ICC and threatened India to make it to the ICC Champions Trophy. They're holding firm. What will the repercussions of either of these two teams not holding up their end be? Staying with cricket, hottest topic today is Indian cricketer KL Rahul hitting back at his former team owner in the Indian Premier League, Lucknow franchise boss Sanjiv Goenka. He's finally broken his silence on the subject of being let go, saying he's relieved to not be in that team in the first place and is looking for us to be with a side with a lighter and a more positive environment. In football, Argentina does yet another faux pas. They face the wrath of prominent voices and fans for including an influencer, yes, in a top-tier club game. More of that in the show, but first, a look at the headlines. Starting with tennis, world number one Jannik Sinner continued his winning run at the ATP World Tour Finals. Sinner defeated Taylor Fritz 6-4, 6-4 in straight sets with 2 wins in 2 matches. Sinner is close to securing a semi-final berth. Over in cricket, England pacer Rhys Topley has been fined 15% of his match fee for smashing a chair during the first T20 international against West Indies and Barbados. Topley's reaction came after he was forced out of the match with an injury. England are currently leading the 5-match series 2-0. In Formula One, race director Niels Wittich has stepped down with immediate effect. F1's governing body, the FIA, said that Wittich has left his role to pursue new opportunities. Roumakis will take over as F1 race director from next week ahead of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Moving to women's football, Canada's coach Bev Priestman has left the side after an independent review by Canada Football found her guilty in the drone spying scandal. Priestman and her support staff had been caught spying New Zealand's training sessions before her side's Paris Olympics match against them. FIFA had in fact imposed a 1-year ban on Priestman. And MLS side Cincinnati and Ecuador's midfielder Marco Ungulo has died after sustaining injuries in a car crash. Ungulo was traveling along with his teammate Roberto Cabezas and a driver near Ecuador's capital Quito last month. The driver and Roberto too died in the accident. The tensions between India and Pakistan have reignited. The geopolitical strain has been present for ages now, but the cricketing world is facing the heat ever since India confirmed its decision not to travel to Pakistan for the ICC Champions Trophy early next year. What this has done is put the cricket's governing body, International Cricket Council that is, or the ICC, in a tight spot. Given the uncertainty hanging over the hosting rights, now Pakistan have questioned the ICC and have threatened India as they want their rivals to travel for the tournament at any cost.
I don't think anyone should make this a political matter. We'll give every team as many facilities as we can. Pakistan has shown great gestures to India in the past, and we'd like to say clearly, India should not expect such friendly gestures from us every time.
While Pakistan is promising the best of facilities to every team that's visiting them for the tournament, the question is, can they provide adequate measures in terms of security to a star-studded Indian squad? Now, Pakistan did unofficially propose that India set a base in the Indian capital city of Delhi or the neighbouring city Chandigarh and only travel for their matches in Pakistan. So basically fly in and fly out each time. That was their alternate plan or suggestion, but is it practically feasible? Because it would become hectic for the players, the Indian players, logistical nightmare, and an additional financial undertaking. The larger point India wants to make is that security is a huge concern whenever India plays Pakistan, even at a neutral venue. Take USA, for example. When India played Pakistan in New York, terror threats were made. Additional security personnel were deployed. Snipers were present at vantage points throughout that match. And star players like Virat Kohli and Captain Rohit Sharma had to be accompanied by bodyguards wherever they went. This happened in a country where cricket still isn't a mainstream sport. Let's see what happens when India and Pakistan plays in Asia. When the two faced each other in Ahmedabad last year, for example, at the ODI World Cup, around 6,000 officials, around 6,000 police officials were present to ensure safety of fans as well as the players. India's prime security forces like the NSG, RAF, NDRF, ATS, they were all deployed and were on high alert, especially to keep watch on any antisocial elements to ensure that nothing untoward happened. There were drones flying around the stadium to oversee the proceeding and avoid any mishap. That's how prepared India was when it knew it was going to host Pakistan at the World Cup. Can Pakistan provide all of that and be just as vigilant? And despite that, be more than 100% certain of nothing untoward happening, because this is the same country that has seen several attacks, especially recently. After that shocking attack on the Sri Lankan side in 2009, which brought cricket to a standstill, it only to be resumed after 2019. And while Pakistan claims it's safe to organize mega events, the recent attacks don't really paint a very promising picture for them. A charity match between two former captains, Babar Azam and Shaheen Shah Afridi in Quetta, received a bomb threat right next to that ground. And while attacks surrounding cricket or cricketers have been close to zero, the country just recently experienced a railway station being attacked in Quetta that took the lives of more than 25 people. Just last month, a suicide attack occurred outside Karachi's airport that even took the life of two Chinese engineers. The country has seen more than 780 attacks this year alone, which has taken the lives of more than 960 people. So BCCI is right in being concerned about the safety of their squad, despite cricket resuming in Pakistan. Now, while Pakistan continues to hold its ground, reports say that the ICC has asked the PCB to consider a hybrid model for this ICC event too, where India's matches would be organized at a neutral venue outside Pakistan. But Pakistan wants to host the event without India if they continue to stand firm on not traveling to Pakistan. But can ICC really afford an event without India? Because what's at stake here is billion-dollar broadcasting rights. ICC has secured the broadcasting rights till 2027, which amounts to a massive $3.2 billion. They are expected to get another $1 billion from other streaming platforms as well. And given the massive cricket fan base in India, the ICC is at risk of losing billions if India doesn't take part in that event. The one, of course, who benefits the most financially in such events is, of course, the broadcasters, because India and Pakistan's matches bring in major sponsors. Now, with trouble brewing, ICC may have no option but to shift the venue entirely if Pakistan doesn't budge to agreeing on the hybrid model. Pakistani media outlets, meanwhile, are saying that Pakistani government has advised the PCB to stand firm on their claims of hosting the event with or without India and to boycott the tournament if the adverse had to happen. any refusal to play India in any ICC event until the political differences are resolved. That's what we're hearing from media there. Not perfect timing this, particularly now that Pakistan is finally figuring out how to win. The men's cricket team recently beat Australia in an ODI series after 22 years. They even managed to beat England to win a home test series after more than 3 years. So would the board want to lose that momentum? Because after the chaotic past 1 year, which saw Pakistan having a change in leadership, losing their coaching staff and even the management, the country is finally seeing cricket rise again. So would they want to lose all of that, the change that they're seeing, and lose a shot at winning an ICC event for the first time since their Champions Trophy triumph in 2017? And it's not just PCB that is losing the momentum if they boycott the event. The ICC has the biggest headache, giving the rigid stance of both India and Pakistan. They cannot afford to lose either of these two teams. During the 2023 India-Pakistan match, around 173 million Indian viewers tuned in to watch the game on television. A total of 225 million digital viewers witnessed the face-off. So clearly, the hype around these two sides is high, noticeably so, and the very fragile relationship that the two countries share politically does not help matters. Someone has to bow down to get proceedings back on track to organizing this ICC event, and that mostly will have to be Pakistan, considering the clout the Indian board has on the global stage. But will they be willing to let go this time? The drama in Indian Premier League never ceases, and with a mega auction around the corner, trust many more dramatic chapters to unfold in the days to come. But the controversial episode that we are looking at today will open up a very important and critical talking point when it comes to any franchisee sport. KL Rahul has finally hit back at his former boss, in some sense, Lucknow franchise head Sanjiv Goenka, regarding the whole saga between him and Lucknow, resulting in the franchise not retaining him. Yes, many of you would say hit back sounds a little drastic, but he has finally put to words what this entire chapter meant to him and what was the actual reason for the two to part ways. I reckon this statement was some time coming. It was in the works and it finally came out with the mega auction just some days away. First, let's look at what KL Rahul had to say.
I just felt like I wanted to start fresh. I wanted to go and play where I could find some freedom and the team atmosphere would be something much more balanced. All the travel, all the drama outside, the pressure, all of it is there every year. But somehow this season, it felt like there was a lot more.
KL Rahul says he is looking for a light environment to be a part of. He has had enough of the heavy-duty dressing room vibes where the pressure and the intensity is immense. He's looking for a shift in not just a team, but the right kind of team. Why? It's quite obvious, isn't it? For the uninitiated, this is the owner Sanjiv Goenka in conversation with his team captain KL Rahul last season. The match had just gotten over. Now, it isn't rocket science to see that this is no pleasantries that's being exchanged here. Don't need second guesses to see that KL Rahul is most passive and Sanjiv Goenka aggressive. The gestures, the expression really there, making up for an ugly showdown that is a big no-no in any relationship, particularly one between an owner and his captain. You won't see this sight in too many other franchises. Even so, there was a place, there was a time, and there was a way. Sanjiv Goenka disregarded all of that. This was in the middle of the Indian Premier League season, so obviously damage control was done thereafter, resulting in some awkward and forced pictures of the two hugging and smiling, showing all was well. Come retention time though for the next season, and there is no KL Rahul in the list, with the Lucknow owner coming out with this statement as a hint for KL Rahul's exclusion.
We had a very simple mindset to go in with players who have a mindset to win, who put the team before their personal goals and aspirations.
He says Lucknow decided to do away with certain cricketers, including possibly KL Rahul, who chose personal milestones over what the team wanted. And it's days after this statement that KL Rahul finally spoke out. He even went further to indicate which teams he would love to be a part of.
The pressure is already high in the IPL. But you see teams like Gujarat and CSK, and you see when they win or lose, they seem really balanced. And the dressing room is really calm. I most enjoyed playing at RCB. People there know me as a local Kannada boy. Would be nice to go back there and get an opportunity.
Yes, guess what's common between those three franchises that KL Rahul mentioned there? All of them desperately need a good wicketkeeper bat. But the teams that he particularly mentions up front, Chennai Super Kings and Gujarat Titans, are teams that have won IPL titles. They know how it is to win. KL Rahul will be sought after by quite a few teams at the auction table for certain. But coming to the atmosphere in the franchises he talks about, Chennai and Gujarat, having been part of the two setups, I can say the cricketers and ownership do not mix when it comes to decisions taken on the field and what happens out there. The players are given the space to play freely, express freely. The biggest advantage these two sides have is a solid, positive support staff who keep all the cricketers in the best possible phase. Something KL Rahul is looking forward to. Could he even wish to go back to his roots, the city where it all began for him, Bengaluru, like he talks fondly back there? Why not? A home city where fans who have seen him play from his younger days is something that he probably needs to feel secure and in the right headspace. But the larger point I want to make here is the underlying disturbing message in what KL Rahul said. It highlighted something that is so critical for the success of a team and yes, the growth of a player too. KL Rahul clearly indicated that all was not well when he was captaining Lucknow, a sign for franchises everywhere to possibly take a leaf out of. The controversy surrounding Argentina football refuses to die down. If it's not their national team players singing racist chants, then it's the international goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez reportedly striking a journalist. The latest is the inclusion of an influencer in the country's top-tier club football competition. Football club Deportivo Riestra picked up an influencer, Ivan Buakerok, who famously goes by the name Spreen, let's stick to that, to play a top-tier game. Despite having no professional experience, Spreen featured for Riestra against Velez Sarsfield. Prominent voices in Argentina were not amused, and the club is facing the wrath of fans for this publicity stunt. A report.
Exhibition matches are a great way to increase the reach of a sport, like Saudi Arabia organizing the Six Kings Slams to boost the popularity of tennis in the country. But while Saudi Arabia went ahead and included top names in the tennis fraternity, Argentina football club Deportivo Riestra decided to introduce an influencer, Ivan Buakeruk, who goes by the name Spreen in a top-tier game. Spreen has 15 million followers across his social media channels, which includes 9 million subscribers on his video game live streaming service. So Spreen's inclusion was bound to draw some eyeballs. And it did. What's shocking though is that Spreen has had no professional experience playing football. Yet, he was named in the playing 11 of a top-tier side facing league leaders Velez Sarsfield. And this move did not go down well with prominent voices in Argentina. Now, to be fair, and given the high standards associated with the event, Spreen was subbed off in just 78 seconds, during which he did not even touch the ball. And want to guess what that 78 seconds did? Just by taking the field, he racked up 3.4 million views, in comparison to the thousands that a league game typically gets. But was this an ethical way for the club to boost viewership? Following the backlash, Deportivo Riestra even issued an apology. The club defended its actions by reminding everyone of what Real Madrid president Florentino Perez had said when he had spoken about the decline in popularity of football in Europe. So the club in a sense justified their act of getting an influencer to bring in new audience to the sport. And this is not even the first time we have seen streamers or YouTubers competing at the highest level. In 2021, boxing icon Floyd Mayweather fought with the YouTuber Logan Paul in an exhibition match. That was done purely for entertainment. And now, boxing legend Mike Tyson is set to face another YouTuber, Jake Paul, this weekend. That is set to be streamed on an OTT platform. The difference between these two fights and Spreen's match, though, is the fact that the other two were exhibition events. But Spreen was part of a top-tier football match, and it happened in Argentina, who are currently world champions, country that is represented by Lionel Messi. So, do they really need an influencer's inclusion to boost the popularity of the sport? Because when Argentina won the World Cup, this is what followed. Roads were blocked, fans gathered in huge numbers to watch the victorious Argentina players. If this country needs an influencer to promote a top-tier league match, then maybe they're barking up the wrong tree. Because football is a mainstream sport in Argentina. They need quality players rather than influencers to bring in audience. Reason why Argentina's football community is angry over Deportivo Riestra's actions.
Speaking of influencers, time for last serve. Boxing legend Mike Tyson and YouTuber Jake Paul are gearing up for the mega showdown over the weekend. But before that, Tyson rolled back the ears during his workout, whereas Jake Paul decided to troll Tyson. How? Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care.